I will sort of go on to what I was asking before, and you said that, or you hinted that, you really had to earn Tom's respect. And someone who earned Tom's respect and vice versa was Harley Race when he came in. I believe, was he NWA champion at the time? Is that why he was
He
visiting?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
For first time, I think 1978, Harley came in. Dynamite had just been here a few months, and they went on some road trips together. And it's interesting because Dynamite, when he first came, never drank alcohol, never smoked. He was just very quiet, very serious. Worked out in the gym. He was obviously trying to put size on, but he had never taken steroids, never used alcohol, cigarettes, anything like that. I think a lot of that changed when he was around Harley. Because Harley was a chain smoker and he drank. Harley would he'd drink a dozen beers and he'd be behind the wheel. He'd be driving on these long road trips. He wouldn't let anyone else drive. He didn't care if it was somebody else's car or not. But but I think he had a lot of influence on Dynamite. I think he Americanized Dynamite somewhat. But I think John Foley, his manager, who was a heavy drinker as well, influenced Dynamite. But definitely Harley did. But I think Harley really respected Dynamite's toughness and it's just his workability in the ring. And I know Steve highlighted an interesting story there where there was a scuffle with Harley and Nelson Royal, and I think it was Keith and Dynamite when they pulled over on the road somewhere. I think Harley was driving, and he was swerving on the road a little bit because he was speeding and he had so much to drink, and he didn't want to be told by the younger guys in the back to slow down or pull over, or maybe Harley, one of us should get behind the wheel, and he took that as an insult. So then they pulled over and ended up getting into kind of a playful scuffle out in the ditch on some highway late at night. I think they were traveling from Edmonton to Saskatchewan, and I think Keith and Tom, who were sober, and Harley and Nelson Royal had quite a few to drink, and they thought these young guys were not showing respect and were lipping them off a little bit. So they ended up pulling the car over and getting into a scuffle. And I think Dynamite basically overcame Nelson Royal pretty easily, and Keith kind of took Harley down. But I think because they were more sober, that certainly gave him an advantage. But Harley realized Dynamite would stand up for himself, and he gained a lot of respect for Tom. And then so the few shows he came in and worked for us during Stampede, he saw Dynamite and and kind of took him under his wing. And Tom always enjoyed traveling with him and being around him. And I know Tom had a lot of respect for Harley's toughness in the ring and his workability, and Harley respected him a lot, and saw him as a guy that came over from another country and embraced it and did very well. Tom learned the American style and adapted so well to it, but it never affected his work rate, or his performances in the ring. And he always worked hard, and he didn't soften or become lazy as a lot of boys did when they came over from another country, especially with the American style, which maybe wasn't as solid or competitive as Stampede. And I think that's what Harley always respected about Dynamite. Just how hard he worked in the ring and stood up for himself as well. And never backed down against anyone.